Now that, ow, that is good.
Quarter on that one.
Oh, it was great. Okay, so we just finished up doing some inside hand placement with extension. That's something that we put a lot of focus on. As we move into these new sessions and we move on to basically what we're going to call level 2, or a more advanced level of pass blocking. Now we start to get into the details, the nuances of what do we do post contact or post engagement. And one of those things that we have to understand about the effectiveness of an offensive tackle is, are they moving the pass rusher off their line? In our previous episode, we talked about, okay, using the outside hand for stunning and for getting space, and the inside hand for moving off the line. What we didn't yet do is add that as a piece of criteria in our links, right? We didn't start to look at, are you moving me off my line as a pass rusher with that inside hand? And that's what we're gonna take a look at now. So you can see on the field, we have these hash marks all aligned for us, and we're gonna use that as our guide. Lucas is gonna line up, get in your stance here for me. Lucas is gonna line up on this hash mark, okay, with his left foot on one side and the right foot on the other. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come around on the other side as the pass rusher and line up here. I'm going to try to attack Lucas where the hash mark and the orange line you see on the field intersect. At that point of contact, you will see my line. And what we're gonna look for is when the inside hand makes contact, do I get moved to my left, and is Lucas able to gain ground, okay, moving off that hash mark? If the answer is yes, he was successful in moving me off my line, that's correct responses. If the answer is no, we have some work to do and we'll go back at it. All right, let's check it out. Set, go. We got to about here because of the pressure and weight you were throwing on here, okay? I actually my hips ended up turning. That's a great look. Go. Good. See how we got this nice little angle? That outside shoulder and outside hip are raised a little bit, protecting that outside edge. And all the weight and pressure is coming on the inside, protecting the inside edge. This is perfect body shape at this point in the rush. That's perfect. Go. There you go, good. Hey, good replacement, right? You miss, you just keep re-striking until you hit it.
Yeah.
Go. Because it's like,
yeah, right,
it's there. Like on the, it's like, you know, still soft there in the middle.
I haven't felt that in a minute.
I like too that you're not fully opening your hips.
Yeah.
You know? So we're getting out here, and while you're opening slightly, there's still a close off there. Set, go. Ah, good. Have the face I'm making. So I was trying to. Reset. Go.
I got it right on.
Always the outcome I would prefer is me ending up on my ass, okay? Because these drills don't transfer if we're doing like 50, 45, 75% speed, right? Like, I'm here doing this with you so you can knock me around. I tell you all the time, like, go hard, go hard. And on that, you saw the value of attacking my hip joint, okay? What did you feel on that strike?
You feel that bomb.
Yep.
You can displace anything because that's where all your power is. So if that's not the way, you're going.
That's exactly it. On that strike, you hit me so squarely and perfectly on that hip bone that as I went to go step with my outside foot, my inside foot was getting moved and my feet came right out from under me. That to me, as a coach now, is what I hope to see. Now, totally know NFL coaches aren't ripping in this drill with you hoping that you knocked them on their ass, right? So, but when you have access and the ability to have a private session and we're putting this point of emphasis on all these nuances and details, that's a great outcome. That's a great outcome. That to me, as a coach, knows that you got the reinforcement I was hoping you were gonna get to reinforce the behavior, right? We've taken now, that was our 13th or 14th rep doing this. And we've emphasized placement, hip, hip, hip. And now you got to see the physical and visual reinforcement of why that's important. So to me, I think we did our job there.
No, when I really learned the importance of like hitting that hip bone was when we played Harrison Phillips in the Alamo Bowl. Every time we double teamed him, we didn't get much motion. But then when we really started focusing on displacing his hip, he couldn't really get power. He was real flexible and bendy, but when we took his hip out, he was it wasn't the same play.
So, and to be clear, right, that's going back to 2017, that Alamo Bowl. That's I think that was your sophomore year in college, right? And that's the key, right? The bigger these guys are, the stronger these guys are, you can't be going at their muscles. You can't be going at those thick, soft tissue fibers, right? You got to go after the joints, because that's where the weakness is, to your point. And to really discover that as a player functionally on the field, it only makes sense to make sure that when we drill this stuff, that's the point of emphasis, because you've seen it work on the field. That's how we create what we call a reinforcement loop, okay? So a reinforcement loop is where you behave in a certain way, a positive outcome occurs, positive in the sense that it was beneficial for you, and so that creates that reinforcement. So now you just want to keep doing that again. When we drill it in here, okay, we're trying to capitalize on that previous reinforcement to create where we're going. And that's huge. And Harrison Phillips, by the way, that's no slouch. He's in the NFL. We just looked it up. We Googled it to make sure, right? He's playing for the Bills. He's over with Ed Oliver, who was their first round pick last year. That's a pretty dynamic, flexible D-line they got going on. And I think your experience going against guys like that only helps you as you prepare going into your, what's going to be your rookie season, right? So, good stuff. Very good, very good. It's so hard to get my outside foot to turn the corner, right? So that's my corner turn. I try to get in once my foot is here. I want to now turn the hips and get in, and I can't, because every time I go to turn, by moving my hip, my inside foot is displacing my outside. So I never turn the corner, and I end up actually getting further and further away from my target. Picture perfect. That's 10 consecutive reps of perfect placement, extension, and moving me off my line. That's awesome. Good stuff. Go. Drop. There you go. Does that make sense? Am I f***ing you up, right? Just tell me if it's the opposite of what you've heard. Or
No, that's how I do.
Okay.
It just takes it.
Go.
That's it. Good. That's it.
Sit. Go. See how we're nice and angled here? That's what I want you to capture going down this line. That there's not a full-on turn where he's facing you. Go. Now that is good. Ow.
I hit the quarter on that one.
Oh, it was great.
Instead of